the gully that I used to go and do drugs in that neighborhood was right there across the street from the church. Life up there, death right here.
For the first 5 years of my life, the man that was no longer. My mom had to decide, do I save my marriage or do I save my son? At the end of that dinner, he said, would you forgive me? And all of my anger came back. Hey, welcome to the Legend Podcast, man. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being a part. My name is Legend if we haven't met. I'm a rap artist, I'm a speaker. Legend is my name, Nigel, backwards. That means God turned my life around. And that's what all this is about. It's about turnaround, stories of turnaround. And matter of fact, this season is all about Your Story Matters. Special shout out to Aviation Institute of Maintenance for sponsoring this episode. If you don't know, there's a big gap coming in needed mechanics in the aviation industry. And AIM is filling the gap by giving people the skills and the certifications to take these good paying jobs at airlines that need them. So if you need a career change somewhere fresh, check out Aviation Institute of Maintenance. They are ready to take care of you. Special shout out also to our sponsors, Chick-fil-A Broad Creek Crossing in Norfolk, Virginia, right off North Military Highway. Y'all know the quality Chick-fil-A coming with, lines wrapped around the building. This location I get to work with tightly. We partner together on multiple projects in the community because they care about the people. And if you need a really good job, they're a great place to work because I know the owners and they really care about their folks. So anyway, Chick-fil-A Broad Creek Crossing, Norfolk, Virginia. Go check my folks out and holler at them for me. In today's episode, I'm gonna tell you my story. Trevor's gonna tell you his. And the goal is to inspire you and see what God has turned around in our lives, that everything can turn around in your life as well, and to inspire you that your story matters. Thanks for joining me for episode 1. Please like, share, subscribe, and do all the things. Let's get into it. All right, welcome to episode 1. So, hey, listen, this is the Legend Podcast. I'm glad you're here. I'm your host, Legend. This is me. It's my podcast. To my left is my illustrious co-host, Trevor Illustrious.
How y'all doing?
Trevor Lucas.
I'm feeling real illustrious this morning.
Man, when you got your face on your shirt, brother, you can't help. You knew you was illustrious when you walked down there.
Yeah. Just in case. You know, I had to wear a mask or something. I was like, look.
I said, you can't mask my shirt.
You can't mask me, sir.
Past that, man. Like, it's over now.
Okay.
All right. But this is Trevor Lucas, man. Tell them about yourself, brother, who you are.
You know, I have a hard time every time someone asks me.
No, bro, you did that on stage the other day.
I'm a creative. With my creativity, I use it to try to uplift and make the world a better place. You can only go as far as you can see. I try to show people more and show them better.
Look at that. Like, he had that practice. He's talking about he had a hard time.
That was a spill. He had
that rehearsed. That was a straight lie. You knew what he was going to say. So Trevor is TV show host, producer, all these great things, man. He currently is doing murals through Anomaly Art Studio. Look that up. So buildings, inside, outside, that plastered, was down at the beach doing stuff.
I'll face paint if you ask me.
Listen, I call it corporate graffiti. That's what he got, corporate graffiti.
Yes, sir.
And so myself, a rap artist, speaker, preacher, advocate. I've been a full-time creative for 10 years.
Yes, sir.
And been able to go travel and make music, travel around the U.S., I went to the U.K. and Africa a couple times. Mm-hmm. It's been great, man. And just as an independent, self-funded artist, just working with people, it's been a blessing to be able to do that. So I've been doing that, like I said, for 10 years in September. I speak at churches, schools, all that stuff. I'm actually a Maxwell certified speaker.
Come on.
And I get to go to prisons and things like that, man. So that's what I do. And I think it's really interesting that we've been able to be full-time creatives.
Absolutely,
man. That is hard.
Yeah, but it's a blessing, bro.
But it's worth it. It's worth it. You know what I mean? So what we thought this podcast would be, the reason why I go by Legend is simply because Legend's my name, Nigel, spelled backwards, Legin. Nigel, backwards Legend. And it just means that Christ turned my life around. It's the whole point. And the reason we call this the Legend Podcast is because we want to talk about that, Christ turning life around. And we want to dig into conversations about anything in culture that we think it needs to be discussed.
Yes,
because as people, we deal with everything in culture. Sometimes you get to church and feel like you can't deal with certain things, and we just ain't like that. So this is just us on the couch, and it happens to be a mic here. And this is stuff we talk about when we just hanging out anyway. Regularly. And we was like, bro, let's just put a camera in here because this could help some people. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, we would hear conversations, stuff going viral, like a lot of people giving, like, for example, this is something we're gonna get into eventually, like relationship advice, right? Mm-hmm. And we hear like the advice going out, and the advice is like is bad.
Super, super bad. But it sounds cool to culture, right?
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
It sounds, you know, and we all come from, like, most of us bad, broken relationships. So I understand.
And tried some of that super bad.
Yeah, did the same stuff.
Right.
So
and that's why we know it's super bad.
Right. No judgment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, sitting here on the other end of that, having healthy marriages, healthy family, healthy relationships, as Black men, as believers in Christ, it was like, yo, we got something to say.
Yep.
So we wanted to be able to respond to things that we thought would be helpful for people and throw that out there. So a lot of that type of stuff is coming. I don't care if it's politics. I don't care if it's something risque. I don't care if it's something that's taboo. Whatever.
Life.
It's life. And we just want to get into that. Like, just forgiving, all that stuff, man. So that's what's coming. But we thought what would be a dope starter episode would be, man, the whole point of the whole legend thing, Christ turned my life around, is we found recently through 2 experiences that we're going to share today that the simple message that your story matters.
Yeah.
It's life-changing for people.
The greatest gospel preacher is the one lived.
See, the one-liners. That's what you're going to get all season long. The one zingers for your shirts.
I don't have much to say, but you know, I try to make it appropriate.
When somebody say they don't have much to say.
I got a lot. I got paragraphs in my pocket.
Man, you got Apple Notes full of things.
Yeah.
But, like, we both had experience recently where we were sharing films. We're now budding filmmakers, right?
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Will Thomas and Dusty Booth.
Yeah.
It's
Nate Brown.
Nate Brown, shout out to Cap, shout out to Lionel Harris.
Absolutely.
And so, like, now that we're in that realm, like, we're just sharing our story.
Yep.
And at a recent screening, we shared that, hey, this is me telling my story vulnerably, transparently, painfully at times. But to show that it can be overcome and God is good and things can happen. And telling the crowd, like, hey, but your story matters just as much as everybody.
That changed things.
People don't even know that.
Just that statement that you made, I mean, the response from that statement alone just made people kind of dig deep and say, yeah, man, you know what? You're right. And it convicted people in a lot of different ways.
It's crazy. And I just said that on the fly, but I'm in the middle of doing this and I forgot flippantly that people need to be reminded their story matters. God is writing your story. And if you're made every day and you're made in the image of God, and if God is involved in writing your story, then your story is infinitely valuable.
Absolutely.
We're never going to get your story again because we're never going to get you again. You are infinitely valuable.
And not just that. You didn't go through what you went through for yourself alone, like for you to say, whew, made it out of that.
Made it out.
Go get this money and be successful.
Right.
He actually put you through that. That's what qualified you to be able to go back and save other people from that burning house.
Right. And that's not wrong to make it out. And
No, it's not.
But like it's we said it early this morning at breakfast because we already ate twice this morning, so
I'm full.
And the caffeine is keeping. But like it's you know, did God save you just for you?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Mm-hmm.
But did God save you just for you? No.
Right.
Not at all.
Absolutely.
Like there's a return on investment in the kingdom. And we hear that and we talk about being, you know, the idea of return on investment.
You always thinking money.
Thinking something cold or calculated, or getting a return on your investment in a person makes them a commodity.
Yeah.
And that could happen because that's how people do stuff. But like talking about God, for example, like when God changes you and turns your life around and turn things around for you, if it was just for you, man, cool. That's a holy, wonderful
God
thing.
don't work like that though.
Yeah, because there is simultaneously for you and your good, but for the good of others and his glory at the same time, because God wants the change to happen in you to spill over into somebody else around you. And if you keep that in mind, you're not just living for yourself. You've got purpose. Just like, man, for the glory of God and the good of other people. So that's why your story always matters.
Absolutely.
So we thought today we do 2 things. This is episode 1. We share our stories, kind of where we come from. And then we transition into how we now sharing our stories through some films that are coming out. And just circle back to where we just were. We're going to end where we began about your story matters and encouraging you in that. If you haven't heard that already, hear it and then hear it again at the end.
So we just telling them why in the middle here.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just why.
I'm with that.
This is just where we at.
Okay.
So welcome to the Legend Podcast and thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, 5 stars, all the things. Eventually we'll have a professional way of sharing that, but that's what it is right now. And
that was pretty professional.
Was it?
Yeah,
that wasn't my Apple Notes. I just freestyled. Man, look,
cool.
it's just 10 years of artist and now I can freestyle. And big shout out to Josh Williams behind the mic, man. VA Media, Virginia Media, they're killing the game. Virginia Video. I'm sorry. Shout out to Josh Williams. You can edit this. Josh Williams, Virginia Video.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Denzel Bonds and Mike Silas. Appreciate you guys, man. So let's talk about where we came from, man.
Okay.
I'll kick it off, and then I want to hear your story.
Okay.
So we know, like, way before there was an epidemic, man, there was a pandemic, there was a fatherlessness epidemic. Like, I'm gonna tell you this too. I'll get to that in a second. So my story is this, man. My mom and dad were married for about 10 years, right? And moved here from Virginia Beach, where we are now. Mom and dad got married, moved to Kansas City, Missouri. Had 10 years of a happy marriage, everything going smooth. Mom had a good PR job. Dad was a news reporter. You know what I'm saying? Kind of reporting live in the field kind of guy. Would actually hold me in the middle of the news reports. Wow. On news.
Boy, I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, that's where the mic stuff come from, I guess.
Makes sense.
He was probably more professional than me because I'm still figuring out my one-liners. Yeah. But so they had a good marriage, man. But around the time I was born, shortly after, my dad lost both his parents, and just some social alcohol turned into dependency, alcoholism, and some drugs here and there turned into addiction.
Yeah.
And for the first 5 years of my life, the man that was no longer. And my mom was trying to figure out, what do I do? So 3 failed rehab attempts. And 5 years later, my mom had to decide, do I save my marriage or do I save my son? And my dad made it really easy for her. Not easy, but he made the choice for her. What he did is he put his favorite drink in front of her favorite coffee mug on purpose. Okay. Because he never put it there. And when she went to get her coffee, the drink was there, kind of like, I'm putting this in front of you. Yeah, and she said that was the day she had to make a plan. Okay. So she left, came back to Virginia Beach, where I was raised, went to Bayside Middle and High School, all that. And my dad went back to D.C. and kind of lived through just, drug stuff and life he was struggling with. And I didn't really see him. Save one time, my mom tried to take me up there. We went to his godmom's house, rest in peace, Mama Grace. And she set up a meet for him to come by. And I don't know how old I was. I guess 8, 9 maybe. And he came by, and it's my only time seeing him since we left. And he got me somewhere alone and started telling me, I want to see you, but your mother's keeping you from me. It's not my fault, and all that. Right. And I started crying, and my mom here, and she runs and gets me. And she's like, stay away from my son. And she, so because of that moment, she was like, I can't, he's not healthy. Yeah. Right. And I just thank my mom. I thank God for that. Shout out to the single moms who make tough decisions like that. Yeah. You should never have to make those decisions. But when you do and they're tough, thank you for, on the other side of that. Yeah. Thank you. When you make those healthy decisions, not the ones who use the children and punish the man with that and do not y'all. I'm not shouting y'all out at all. No. But those of you that had to make those tough decisions, God bless you. So we come back and I remember he would call sometimes, drunk, and mom would but sometimes he would get through. And I picked up the phone. He's like, I'm 12 or 13 at this time. He's like, hey man, I'm coming to pick you up on this day. I bought a cherry red Mustang. Be ready. We're gonna make up for lost time. Okay. And my mom said that she just couldn't tell me he was lying. Something about it was like, I can't, tell him he's I guess it was like something you got to find out. Yeah. And so I'm waiting by the door with bags packed. You know what I mean? And so at some point it was just like, he not coming, is he? And she was like, nah, he ain't coming. And so something in me broke on the inside. Something about my value, how important I was. Yeah. I must not matter because the person that brought me here isn't here. Yeah. And they think whatever they're doing is more important than me. I wasn't a bad kid, but I got angry. Yeah. I started looking for voices. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't out here in the streets like that. But like I was looking for like, oh man, so in order to be a man, I got to be willing to fight for mine. I got to sleep with as many women as possible. Right. I got to find a way to make some money. I got to have these shoot, whatever, like just stupid stuff. But like when you looking for a voice, you know what I'm saying? You looking for a voice. And I started listening to whatever rapper and athlete. Oh man, look at them. They look like they got over it. They fine, so whatever they say goes.
Because dad wasn't there to show you the blueprint of what that man was supposed to look like. Yeah.
And I had good men around. Okay. I did have some good men around, but I just didn't care what they had to say.
Because the one that you wanted.
The one I wanted, gotcha. I got shut down. Yep. And then there were men who probably could have pursued me harder. But I mean, everybody got their own kids, they got their own lives, and no judgment. But it's just like when you want that voice and you don't have it, you know what I'm saying? So that was life, man. And we can dig more into that later. But I got into music, really got into Wu-Tang. Shout out to RZA. RZA's the reason I rap, make music now. Like I just RZA, like a couple influences of RZA, KRS-One, Wyclef Jean, like a lot of these guys are like early inspiration for
The
me.
Carnival was that.
Carnival is a playthrough to this.
Yeah,
day.
let it rock. Yeah.
Still, when I got a long road trip, there's a 50% chance of putting.
And of course the Fugees.
Of course, bro.
Yeah.
Of course. But like for me,
the Carnival.
like the Fuji, like I love the Carnival.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I love that joint.
just for me, you know what I'm saying? So like that's probably one of my top 5 albums personally.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, so anyway, like I got into music, started making beats, found out I could rhyme, and graduated high school, kind of put it to the side, like this ain't my future. Went to college, figured some stuff out, dropped out of college, started doing financial service. I'm just trying to find my way.
Yeah.
Get a letter from my dad one day, like, hey, I need to come see you and apologize. You know what I'm saying? I need to apologize for what I did.
And how old are you here?
20.
Okay.
Yeah. So he comes down to Virginia Beach. We meet at a restaurant called Mahi's. Mahi's back in the day. Good fish. And I meet my aunt and my cousin I never met before. They at the front and they like, hey, you must be Nigel. This is who we are. Your dad's out there on the boardwalk. That's him with the jean jacket on.
Okay.
And it's crazy I'm wearing the jean jacket to him.
Crazy.
And I go up and I meet him. My whole goal is like punch him in the face and walk away. That's the whole goal. That's the plan.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
the plan.
All right.
And I'm not a fighter like that, but I'm like, if there's ever a time, this is the time to swing.
This is the time to swing off. Tee off. Okay. Go off on me.
Go off. And but I was just, that was my plan. It was like, I don't need you. I made it. I'm good.
Okay.
And I tap him on the shoulder and I'm ready to catch him in the jaw so he turn around.
You serious about it?
I'm not joking. Like, this is the plan.
Carry on.
And there was a moment where I remember this, caught the side of his eye. Like, I just saw the yellow. And it was like this, for me, your eyes ain't supposed to be that yellow.
Yeah.
And for me, it just felt like, man, something is wrong. Like, and there was a moment where like pity set in for a moment. Like, bro, you threw everything away, bro. You had a woman that loved you. You had a son that adores you. You had a good job. Yep. You knew Oprah before Oprah was Oprah, bro. You had everything.
Yeah.
For what? And for a moment, unexplainably so. Because why would I care about you?
Yeah.
My rage turned to pity, and I felt bad for him. And we just talked for a minute.
It's good.
And I was like, man, let's go eat. And we went and got food, and we had a great time. And we just laughed and joked. It was the only adult dinner I ever had with my father.
Wow.
And we had a really, really good time. I just remember, we telling corny jokes together and laughing about dumb stuff. And like, I just remember like, oh, this is where this side of me comes from.
Yeah.
Because my mom is my homie. Like,
That's
I love her.
Important, bro.
I'd never seen it before, bro.
I know how they go.
You know what I mean? Like, but like, my mom is my homie, but we wired different. I was like, wow, this is what she been saying.
Yep.
This side, you get this from who your father was.
Yep.
And I saw it. Really, really important dinner for me. At the end of that dinner, he said, would you forgive me? And all of my anger came back. You know what I mean? And he wanted a hug. What?
Why do you think it came back, though? Do you know why they hit you like that? Because it seemed like everything was going so well.
It was going good, but I think it was the moment of, am I ready to let this go?
Ah, got you.
Yeah,
do I want to forgive you?
Do I want to forgive
you? No, I don't want to forgive you. Right?
Like, we cool to have a conversation and laugh and act and joke like nothing happened.
But forgiveness, too far.
Because I wanted to enjoy my dad. There's a part of me that wanted to enjoy that.
Yep.
But then when it was like, would you forgive me? It's like, bro, this is 15 years. You think one dinner gonna fix this?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I just ain't want to do it.
Okay.
And then, and he was, I was like, I'll never forgive you for what you did. Because now it's my turn to hurt you. Okay. Now you want me.
Okay.
Now you want me.
Yeah.
And now I can make you pay.
Right.
So he goes back, he tries to call, I'll cuss him out, hang up. I'm just enjoying life.
Yeah.
Fast forward 6 months, I'm selling insurance, and a lady walks into my office. I don't believe I knew who she was. And she says, hey, I don't know what's going on, but God told me to tell you, if you don't get that bitterness out of your heart, you never make it in the kingdom of heaven.
Did you meet this lady before?
I'm trying to remember.
She ain't know you had bitterness in your heart, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so man, I'm just like, and I'm sitting there kind of like, I'm just trying to make some money. That was rude. Right. Like, you just messed my whole day up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go talk to somebody else. Like, catch me on a Sunday when I'm ready to hit it.
Right. This is a prophecy day.
Right. And, but I mean, but I'm glad she came, because I was out of church. I wasn't in church at the time. I didn't care about Jesus. I didn't care I didn't care about none of that stuff. Yeah. I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna go do it. Right.
Yeah.
Something broke in me. And 3 months later, I called him and we had a good conversation. I said, hey man, I love you. I forgive you. Let's figure it out.
Okay.
Let's work it out. And you know, we just decided was gonna be good. And so he had a moment where he was like, bro, like it felt like you could feel the chains fall off this man's shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he was like, hey, can I come see you? Can I come see you? I'll get a hotel, I was like, just ease up. Too much.
Hey, bro, he you know, he was hyping for the moment.
I'm like, okay, slow down.
Right.
Take it
easy.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
I'm still a little pissed.
Not today, right.
I'm still a little pissed, but we good.
Right.
And we just had that moment, man. But it was I forgive you, I love you.
That's good.
And we'll talk soon. You know.
How did that feel for you though? Was it any chains fall off you at that moment?
I mean, honestly, I don't remember looking back, but I think it had to. I think it had to feel.
Because usually forgiveness is mostly for you. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
It ain't really for the person you forgive.
That's a big fact.
Yeah.
So I know that is 100% objectively true.
Yeah.
How I felt at the moment, I don't remember.
Gotcha.
It might have just been like, all right, cool, let me get this out the way. You know what I mean? But I know I felt free ever since though.
That's good, bro.
But I know for him, it was a you hurt. You hurt, you know what I'm saying? Like that moment for him, you know?
Yes.
And but we was like, let's figure this out later, getting together and all that stuff. And but so I forgave him. And it was good, but I didn't know that would be the last time we spoke. You know what I mean? Like right after that, man, he passed away.
Wow.
And we never talked again. I remember I was at the movies. I was at AMC Lynn Haven with my wife, my girlfriend at the time, Tia, not my wife. Shout out my baby. And I got a call like, yo, your dad's in the hospital. I was like, okay, cool. And I like hung up. I didn't have any feelings.
Okay.
No pressure. And we about to walk in the theater. And I was like, yo, my dad's about to die, yo. Whoa. And she was like, don't say that, don't talk like that. I was like, nah, I don't know. And I ain't thinking anymore about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in retrospect, it should have ran and called us or drove them.
Right.
But there wasn't in my...
the connection hadn't been created.
Yeah, there was no connection, there was no pressure. I don't remember like, I'm gonna not go see him because I'm still mad. I don't remember any of that. I just remember like, yeah, that's it.
Let's go catch this movie.
Yeah, man. And then like a little while later, my phone rang, and it was my mom. I think it was the next day. And as soon as I saw my mom, I was like, I picked up like, he gone, ain't he? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right. I ain't had no feelings.
Crazy.
Still ain't had no feelings.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? And then I went to my business partner's house, was working with insurance. I left there, and then this thought hit me. And you know what I'm saying? And you know, good theology, bad theology, whatever you want to call it. I was driving and I was just like, yo, is my dad in hell right now? You know what I'm saying?
Right, I got you. Yeah.
Like, and I remember that broke me. Yeah. Like, because I wasn't even following God. I was way over here.
Yeah.
But it was enough to say, I don't know what this looks like. I don't know what's next. I don't know what happens after this. But if there's any way, if this matters, could you please not let him go there? Wow. I just forgave him.
Yeah.
Like, what does this mean? And I just remember like crying out and trying to figure that out, man.
Yeah.
And but you know, so for me, I was stuck with 3 questions, and this will wrap my story up. I was stuck with 3 thoughts anyway. Maybe God's not there and everything's just random, because why would he bring him back just to take him away again? That just, those pieces don't make sense. So maybe everything's just happening and we just on a spinning rock swirling around the sun, and we're going to die one day and hope we have for a while year. God is there and he's mean, because why would you bring him back just to take him away again? You know? Or maybe God is there and he really, really cares about forgiveness and reconciliation and getting things right.
I'll say the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I landed, man. And I ended up coming to Christ, man, like in my grandmother's basement, one more sermon, one more song. I just said, man, I give up.
What was it due to that?
I think so, man, because I remember crying about my dad being gone later. And I remember thinking like, what is life? Like, what's the point? Like, what is all this about?
Yeah.
And I remember some dude come on TV, call here for prayer. And, you know, I'll be skipping past it. I don't care.
Something, yeah.
And I'm
a cloth with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So he's selling water and all them crazy people. And then, but like the dude was like, call, and I called. And I remember the dude praying with me, and I remember just like, what's the point, man? What's the point of waking up? Like, what is this?
Right.
Like, and I don't know what he said. I can't remember to this day what he said. But I know the next morning I rolled out of bed and I hit my knees and I said, Lord, I give up. If this is who you are, if you really care about forgiveness, you really care about restoration, this is who you are. I give my life. If you are who my grandmother been trying to tell me you are, and who my mom been trying to tell me you are, and who my granddad showed me you are by his life, I want you. And if you are Lord, I'll chase after you the rest of my life. And that day, everything in me changed, and I ain't been the same since. Everything turned around that day. That's when my name meant something. That's when Legend God turned around. That's when it meant something.
That's good.
And ever since that day, man, I've been preaching forgiveness, restoration, reconciliation, healing. I've seen friends get to reconcile with their fathers, just to either like be with them in the process or push them like, nah, bro, we're not leaving till you go talk to your dad.
Yeah.
Go at least start the like, and part of it comes from the pain of like, I got to forgive him, but I didn't get to reconcile with him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not gonna allow you not to.
I don't want you to miss that, because you don't have it. I got a song out called "Wish I Knew You" about my dad, and we shot the music video at my father's grave.
Whoa.
And we ain't put it out yet. Me and Will ain't put it out yet. But like, I wanted to shoot it at the grave to say, you don't have time.
Yeah, man. That's good.
To hold on to this, you know. So, but that changed everything, man. And I didn't know God would bring me back to music, bring me back to preaching this message.
Yeah.
And telling people, man, look, man, your story matters. You're valuable. I know because of what you've been through, you don't feel like it. I know you struggle with the reality. And is God there? If he cared, why did he let this happen? All those things are valid.
Yep.
I just know that your story matters to God. What you've been through matters to God. And God can and will turn everything around for your good, his glory, and the good of others if you let him.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened in my life, man. I spent the last 10 years, even before that, man, just building up to going full time. I spent the last, 15 plus years telling people that story, man, and watching people's lives change, man.
And that's when Nigel became Legend.
Yeah, that's when it meant something. I actually knew that my name was Legend. Nigel spelled backwards was that I saw my name backwards on the thing when I was little. But like that was even my rap name in high school. I would go by Legend.
Oh, I got you.
I had some other names too.
Mine was it's like Robert. And that ain't.
It sound like a French company that sells.
Yeah, maybe I should sell pastries or something. The Robert, the pastry.
Yeah, you want
to talk about that.
You're a foodie. Somebody gonna trademark it and make money off that unless you get it straight.
Edit that out.
Bro. They gonna have your shirt on the J.
Robert. Go ahead.
Yeah, Josh is just Hodge.
Nah, that ain't
the one. That ain't the one. Yeah, it's a Mediterranean dish, like veggie side. But that's it, man. Like that's when and still, man, I still work on believing aspects of my story matter. I know it does, but that journey from the head to the heart of like, you know what I mean? Like really knowing and understanding. And the more that you understand how much you matter and your story matters and how important you are to God, the freer you are to share
and to do what he got you here to do.
Facts.
Yes.
The freer you are to do that.
Yeah.
So like believing that matters. And I don't think we have time to drag our feet in believing that, so you can be free to be who God called you to be. You know what I mean?
It's time.
And he can get that return on investment.
You know, another thing was funny, and I'll get into my story in a little bit, but I think I was around 20 when my father made his apologies and things like that.
A word?
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew that about you, bro.
Yeah. I met him, I think, for the first time when I was 15.
Wow.
But at that time, I had drug issues, and I was a little off, and he could tell us, what is wrong with this kid? He's I was TJ Maxx. I was irregular, buddy. You had to bring me back. But yeah.
He said I was
yeah, I wasn't right, cuz I was right. He could tell it something wasn't right. But
I ain't even. But I was like, where is he? When he said I was like, where is he gonna go with? How's he gonna land the start?
But yeah, 20. Ironically, I think I was in the military. He came to visit me. I think I was 20. That's crazy, bro.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, jump into your story, man. Like, tell me, man.
Okay. Well, you know, now I'm this muralist and I paint pictures all over the place.
Corporate graffiti,
but I did graffiti starting out. So I grew up in an abusive household, like a lot of us, you know, but I feel like mine was a little bit more torturous in some ways. Beatings with wet ropes, get on your knees on dry rice. That's some old Guantanamo Bay type.
That's interrogation.
Grab this wire while I electrocute you because, you know, you get on my nerves type of thing.
Bro, you serious?
Bro, like it was more lawnmower. Grab this, you know, take it out spark plug and you grab the wire. Like I didn't even know that's how you could get shocked, but you crank it if you holding that wire, it shocks you. But anyway, little stuff like that.
That's sick.
So I also, was a creative from early. You know, I was kind of to myself. I would build things. We didn't have certain toys, so I would make them. Like, you know, Ninja Turtles. We love Ninja Turtles, so I'd take shoe boxes and toilet paper rolls and make a layer, like a little system. But anyway, but if he seen I was a little bit too happy about some of these things, he made it his point to come through and tear that down. Like, that's stupid. You stupid. You know, you need to do something that's going to get you somewhere in life later on. That ain't it. You know, little stuff like that. But I didn't, you know, some people would internalize that and be like, you know, it may be right. Nah, I spent all my time trying to prove to other people that I wasn't what he said I was. You know what I mean? So I became what people saw as talented, because it was like, you can do that, I can do that too. I can do that too. So I spent all my time trying to make sure.
So it was a healthy part of it to where like
there was
it pushed you to be better. But was there an unhealthy part where you were trying to prove yourself too much?
Absolutely. So I was also trying to and it's parts of my childhood I don't remember due to I didn't find out until there you go. So I've been fragmented. But a lot of stuff is stories when I tell from my childhood is stuff I heard. And I remember bits and pieces, but I can't visualize it, you know? But either rate, yeah, there was definitely negative sides to it, because you end up feeling like you gotta be a people pleaser as well. You know what I mean? You want to make sure everybody like you. That's where the jokes and stuff ended up coming from too. You know what I mean? We'll make people laugh and make sure everybody good. But so there was the verbal abuse, there was the physical abuse. There was also sexual abuse in my situation, not from my stepfather, but other family members. So
the I want to get it. So the abuse was from your stepfather, not your biological father.
From my stepfather. My biological father wasn't in the picture.
So actually, you didn't meet him till you 15.
Till I was 15.
Stepfather came in, and that's when he. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, had that part of the abuse going on. What really was the turning point was my mother ended up dying, and my mother was the only person that I felt truly, well, let me not say that. I had my grandmother and people like that, but in this household, in this immediate situation I got to grow up in every day, this is the person I know that cares about me. This is the person that I know wants my, you know, the best for me.
Yeah.
So we was outside, me, my sister, my stepfather, I think it was a neighbor, but as the story goes, and we was putting up an antenna. In the country, there was no streaming services at this time, guys, okay? We didn't have different cables and Fios and all that. We had a few channels, you know what I mean? So to get those keys to work like you wanted them to, you get an antenna. You can either get the
wire hanger or like a real
You can get one of those little things if you like. You don't get as much juice off that. But those big tall ones that you stand up on the side of the house, look like a metal kite without the fabric, that's what we was putting up. So as we're putting this up, long story short, it fell over and hit a power line, and it electrocuted my mother. Melted the rings right on her finger. Yeah.
Bro, are you serious?
Dead serious. Yeah, that's what happened. So,
jeez, I didn't know that.
I don't remember all the details of it. Praise God. My sister does. She can see it. You know what I mean? So with that happening, just think about everything I was already dealing with.
Yeah.
Then this. Psychologically, bro, I could be a psychopath right now.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? But God. So after that happened, now I'm left with the person that brings me the most horror in life, which is my stepfather. He's now the sole guardian. So you got to know how that makes me feel. Now, in the midst of this, I used to watch on those few channels we had on the key. I used to watch Bob Ross.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Bob Ross, white guy with an afro, and he talk real smooth. It makes you feel comfy.
There's no mistakes, just happy accidents.
Pretty trees. Yeah, there you go, my guy. You sounded kind of like us too, man. You got to do that for me.
I still know how to paint trees to this day, because you take a brush and you just splash it in there.
Yep.
And he just drew lines. I was like, it's a tree.
Yep, and it's a tree. So I love this guy. I watched him mostly because, you know, of course he painted good pictures, nice landscapes and things like that. But what I took from it was this man paints and creates new environments for himself. To me, I was like, I know I'm sitting in the living room and he got me feeling like I'm in the Alps. He just painted a scene on the beach. You know, he's different places.
Yeah.
I don't like where I'm at right now. So I'm a kid. I can't drive away. You know what I'm saying? I can't banish my stepdad off and take the house.
Yeah.
So how do I create a new environment for myself? Art. I'm going to do that. That's what I said. So we ended up moving to a place called Lafayette, Louisiana, in this neighborhood called the Zip.
Right.
And they call it the Zip because you can always find a Ziploc bag of any drug that you like. It was drug infested.
Yeah.
So Step Pops, what I didn't say, was a drug dealer. I didn't catch that when I was growing up, but he sold drugs. He was always home, but he had a lot of different. He was a super talented dude too. Like he was an electrician, he was a builder, he could do anything.
Wow.
So I did pick that up from him because I didn't see as a man calling anybody. I felt like naturally I needed to figure it out myself. Right. So that was another reason why I became what people call talented. Everybody, all the men around me could do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And we from the country, so you don't really have a whole bunch of
You have to do it.
You have to do it. So either way, went to Lafayette. He started to get high off his own supply. He started getting into drugs. So he started coming up missing a little more often. Stuff in the house started coming up missing a little more often. Maybe the gas went off. We got a hot plate. Now the hot plate came up missing. We were supposed to eat off of food. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now when he's gone, I got to figure out how to, I'm stealing now. I'm stealing to eat. I'm also hanging around people who are into drugs too. Mm-hmm. So I got into drugs. I didn't go to weed first. I jumped to heroin first.
Yeah.
That was the stuff they was into. They call it getting your nose dirty. I never liked, needles, so I didn't get into that. They call that spiking. Louisiana is either spiking or you graduate from getting your nose dirty to spiking is what they calling it. I got my nose dirty. Yeah. So either way, I'm hanging around people that do this. And ironically, where we used to do the drugs at was in these gullies. They had these big cement ditches that kind of transition through the city where water will go in there. Sometimes you find an alligator in there. But we climb off in there under the underpass and do what we do. You know what I mean? And then we climb out and go about the city, terrorizing the city. What was crazy was the gully that I used to go and do drugs in that neighborhood was right there across the street from the church. Mm-hmm. And I still would go to the church too, because, I had family and stuff that on his side that was in the church. So we would go to the church. So it was like life up there, death right here. And we still went to church, man. Still was going to school, still doing what I do, but getting high and dealing with stepfather going, dealing with stealing clothes for me and my sister, food and stuff. But anyway, where the art came in heavy, the drugs served as a unhealthy getaway because I don't want to think about none of this. And nothing like a snoot of heroin that does it for you. Then I would also go to these trains that was at the end of the neighborhood, and they would stop through there, and I'd paint my name. And the thing that I appreciated about painting my name was I felt like I wasn't seen, but this allows people to know who I am. You know what I mean? So at least in my little kid high mind, that's how I saw it. So I paint my name, or I paint Slim, I think it was the nickname I had. On buildings, I'll paint pictures and things like that. Things that it's almost like painting the stuff that I thought but couldn't say. I paint those things. And when I see people kind of gawking over them, it made me feel important. You know what I mean? Whenever I was painting, as you're painting, you're not thinking about anything but what you're painting. Yeah. So I found a release, a getaway in that artwork. So that was, to me, that was God's getaway for me. Yeah. Versus what the enemy had for me.
I connected that because I remember when I was producing and I was making beats, like when we got in a group, I would be the beat maker. Yeah. Because I always was afraid I didn't want to be the front man because I didn't feel good enough or important enough, valid enough.
I got you.
But like, I would make the beats, right? And then my boys rhyme on them. And I would rap sometimes too, but like I always felt like the weakest link or not,
Yeah, I get you.
I was nice with the pen, still am. But it was just like, I was like, I don't want to put myself out there. I don't need one person to tell me.
I don't feel as confident enough to do that. Right.
So I would even put beats on like mixed CDs and like spread them around and not tell people it was mine.
Mix them in with the other stuff. Got you.
I would just let people say, "Oh man, I found this. Check this out." And people like, "Yo, this crazy. Where you get this from, man? How you get something like this?
Yeah.
You whatever. Like this dope though."
Right.
And I'm sitting there like getting shade, but at the same time like, yeah,
that's me.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it made me feel important.
Yep.
but I didn't also want to feel important at the same time. It was a weird
Absolute-
feeling.
I know exactly what you
Yeah.
I stand in the back and watch him do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, go ahead though.
it's now looking back at the time, I'm sure I didn't see it that way, but now looking back, I seen what God's hand was on that versus where the enemy was trying to take me to another direction with the drug. So
Yeah.
as a 13-year-old on heroin, you would think, and without a job, you would think, how in the heck do you get these drugs in which you take, young man?
Mm-hmm.
How you usually get it is stealing and robbery.
Mm-hmm.
So, we rob people, break into houses, break into cars and things like that. So one day, I was breaking into a house. I ain't want no smoke for real.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the man went home.
Mm-hmm.
So went in and, looking for stuff and find out the man is home. So when I get ready to bolt out the back where I came in, he's right after me with a gun. So I'm running out the backyard, scrambling like eggs, bro. So I go to hop the fence. As soon as I hop the fence, you hear the infamous ch-ch, and boom. As he shot, I felt this burning. Like, people talk about getting shot, talk about how cool it is, and they make it seem cool. But ain't nothing like smelling your flesh burning, first of all. And praise God, it wasn't a slug, but it was bird shot.
Yeah.
So he kind of peppered me in the butt cheeks.
Hey.
Yeah, not gangster.
Okay.
So got peppered.
You don't want to brag about that one.
Nah, I keep that to myself. For real, I think I said that for the first time at the event.
At the screen.
Absolutely. So, because I used to tell people that got shot in the back. That sound.
Yeah, it sound better.
But it was backside.
I survived.
Yeah. No, I got shot in the back.
Left cheek, bro. Right here.
Right in the left cheek. Actually, it's the right cheek. I was sizzling like bacon.
I had a 50% chance.
Yeah, you was good though.
All right, man.
So got over the fence, and with this pain that I'm in, I can either go home or go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rough. I'm 13.
Mm-hmm.
So the hospital is what I chose. Not thinking you just got finished breaking into somebody's house. They call the police. When you get to this hospital, they're gonna know who you are.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what happened. So after they got me bandaged up, got me taken care of, I got sent to the boys' home, and it's gonna sort things out after that. You know what I'm saying? In the boys' home is where I kicked, and I don't know what you know.
Yeah.
When kicking is, for those that don't know, is when the drugs are getting out of your system.
Yeah.
And it's the worst thing ever, bro. It's the worst thing ever. Matter of fact, if you're on heroin, what makes you get back on heroin is either that you like it or it hurts to
Just
stop.
the pain, yeah.
So I need some more to stop this.
Yeah.
But I was put in a position where I had to purge it. So purge that in the boys and girls, in the boys' home. And shortly there, because everything else is kind of foggy, I have a friend of the family. I call her my auntie, T. Pam. She had a lawyer friend that hooked some things up and got me out of that situation and got me back to my family in Natchitoches, Louisiana. That's where my family stays. So got me there. There's so much in between, but my grandmother, I stayed with my grandmother. She signed me into the Navy when I was 17.
Okay.
And it was all up from there. I went to the Navy, and how God turned stuff around crazy. When I went to the Navy, I wanted to be a SEAL. I figured I'm going to go in the military. I don't care about myself as much anyway, so I want to go shoot some people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you sit down and you take these tests to see if you qualify, I found out there, they had these books that they open up with like these almost like ink blotches, different pictures and stuff like that, and they ask you what you see in there. I couldn't see a thing. Flip the next page. Couldn't see a thing. Flip the next page. You colorblind, bro. I've been painting all this time. I'm colorblind. I can read that I'm painting from it. I'm colorblind, certifiably. They call it then deuteranopia. It's a red blindness. But now they call it, the scientific term is deuteranomaly.
That's why Anomaly
Art Studio.
Wow.
I chose that name before I knew they had changed the name of it. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. But
dog.
that's a whole nother.
Get out of here, bro.
But yeah, Deuteronomy.
Won't he will?
Name of Won't He Do It. So, being that I was colorblind, I couldn't get into anything I wanted. I also thought I wanted to do illustrator draftsman. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
There's artists in the military. Colorblind, can't do it. So you go to undesignated. Undesignated is deck department. You like the Navy janitor. It's like the roughest job. So that's where I was at. So in there, I was kind of an Antoine Fisher. You know, I had some issues. I was stealing from people on the boat, get angry, was choking some people, go to captain's mast, had some troubles there. But they found out I could paint. I was the youngest one on the ship too. So people had a little grace for me. You know, he the baby of the ship. So, hey, can you paint this picture on my office door? Yeah. You know, I used the paints that they had there, some old rusty paint brushes, painted it out. Beautiful. Somebody else, hey, you can do a painting on mine. Boom. Then they asked me to do one on the quarterdeck, the entrance of the ship. When people come in, paint a picture of the person the ship's named after. Then I'm thinking, bro, this is a $1 billion ship. And they let me paint pictures all over the place. I started to find importance in what I was doing. I started to find value in what I was doing. I'm painting the shark teeth on the front of the rib boats that they going to do ops in and stuff like that. My stuff is everywhere. And I'm starting to feel like I can do something with this, you know? God turned that thing that was a getaway. Yeah. And when I was a mess into a message. Yeah. So with that, that's where the birth of my art studio began. That's where my art career began. And now I'm painting pictures all over the city. The city's my gallery, but I will not paint anything negative because I understand the power of a positive message. And if the gift God gave me was my talent, the gift I'm gonna give back is what I do with it. Yeah. So I've been able to take where I was.
Them zingers, I told you.
Yeah. But he took what started out to be a crazy situation. Yeah. And now it's my career. And now I'm using it for his glory. Maybe people know, maybe they don't, but it's a message in everything I do.
Connect the dot for me.
Okay.
Where does Christ come into the picture?
Got you, good. So when Christ came in, I grew up in church.
Right. Hell at home.
Yeah. Hell at home, heaven at church. My mom was singing the choir. My stepdad knew the Bible back and forth, bro. Back and forth, okay?
That's
my grandfather was a preacher. My uncle was a preacher. We grew up church, right? But when I left the house, I didn't want to go to church because that's what I grew up in. It's like being a Cowboy fan because your daddy was a Cowboy fan. Yeah. I didn't want to do that.
Right.
So I went on a journey when I was in the military and all of that, and when I got out to find my own truth, if you will.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. There's only one truth.
That's right.
People be saying that.
Thank you.
You choose what you want, but don't say it's my truth. No, there's only one. But anyway, so I'm out trying to find my truth. So I'm checking into, because I always felt this greatness in me, bro.
Yeah.
I always felt there was something different,
right?
You know, but I didn't know what it was. So I'm looking in Egyptology. I'm looking into 5% Nation. I'm looking into Islam. I'm looking into everything.
Everything, yeah.
I know a little bit about everything. I know a little bit about Buddhism and all of that because I've looked into it. Trying to find myself. I even looked into Satanism, not to become one. But I figured, you know, if this is the opposite of what I was,
at least know it.
What they after?
I ain't mad at it.
But in looking into that, I found a lot of the same principles in Satanism. It's in 5% Nation. It's in high-level Masonic orders. Is in doggone, what's the thing with the Jewish Kabbalah? It's in all. I'm like, how are they kind of practicing some of the same? They naming it different.
Interesting.
And then I was like, well, if this is true. And then I looked into a lot of ancient beliefs. So I want to see what people was doing in ancient days. So they talking about a deluge here, and the Bible talks about a flood. They talk about this here, and there's chariot wheels at the bottom of the Red Sea. There's seashells at the top of the tallest mountains. How is that?
Yeah.
It's real, bro.
Right.
So all of this search out here made me realize what I was into was the real deal. So it brought me right back to Christ.
Brought you right back home.
So then with that, because my life's crazy. So I'm gonna try to skip because this podcast can only go so long.
Hey man, we got a whole season.
We may need a part two. But so skip over to, because I got married once when I was younger. And I was into a lot of debaucherous things, me and my wife.
Yeah, maybe you tell me that.
Yeah, but when I met my current wife of 10 years, 20 years actually together, but 10 years married.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. We started going to church again. And that was kind of at the end of my try to find out journeys when I met her.
Understood.
So we started going to church again and sit in the back, just watching,
Arms crossed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But as things went, got more involved. I also grew up in a singing family. My whole family sings.
Okay.
I'd sang in a long time.
Dig it.
And I got into praise and worship at the church. That was my
What you
first.
still doing to this day?
Which I'm still doing to this day.
Shout out
and
Pastor Chris George's.
Pastor Chris George's Fullness Church.
Shout out to homie.
So, and I find joy in that.
Yeah.
And that's why I started getting back into it. Me and my wife was back into it, and ain't left since. There are some ups and downs because life out here.
Yeah, life.
But my foundation is Christ, and that's how I'm gonna live. That's how I'm gonna represent myself through my artwork, through everything I do.
Yeah.
So if you don't want that, don't invite me, because
Right.
that's how I
That's
get
what
down.
it's gonna be.
Because I've seen what it's like without him,
Yeah.
and I don't want that.
Beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
Horrible parts of your story I didn't know, man. And I'll we hear a story, man, and we be like, hey, but that's what I had to do that to become that.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't want you to go through that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll never celebrate trauma, man. But like
I wouldn't change a thing though, bro.
I will celebrate
Yeah.
how God can take that and do what nobody could do on their own.
Absolutely.
There's no way you can take something like that and construct what's happened.
Yeah.
On
That's
your
only
own,
God.
on your own strength.
Yeah, only God.
God be doing that for people who don't even give him the credit for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because God could have done that for both of us, and we'd have been like, all right, I'm good on the God stuff, but I'll take the blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's even a thing to where like it makes it rain on the just and the unjust.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, right? So God is good, whether you recognize and give him glory or like him or not.
Why not?
Like you're thanking or ignoring God on borrowed breath.
Yeah.
And so I think it's amazing that he took that story and did that with it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
me
so
too.
and the overarching piece, man, is that you and your story, no matter what it is, matters tremendously.
Yeah.
No matter what hell you've been through, and no matter what hell you're going through.
Absolutely.
I shudder to think when I learn stories about things that kids are going through and they have no escape right now. There's no way out.
Yeah.
And there's got to be intervention. There's got to like justice, but you got to be able to prove something. Like there's so much going on. And it just shudders to think. And for me, it's like, if you have any question that sin exists, where did the brokenness and the wrong come from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, just certain people evil. Oh, that's a horrible excuse.
Yep.
Something's wrong everywhere.
Absolutely.
That this even exists in the first place.
Absolutely.
That the possibility of a bad thought and evil exists.
Yep.
That the possibility my dad could choose alcohol and drugs over his family. That your stepdad could choose. Let me let you choose. You piss me off. Yep. Who thinks like that? Something is broken.
Yeah.
And you just can't deny or ignore that.
Yep.
But I'm grateful for the fact that God would see fit to turn stories
Absolutely.
around. And what I want to get into, and we'll clip this now because this is full.
Yeah.
You said something, bro, and I wrote it down. You said there was people when you were trying to get your life right, go to jail. It was called not go to jail. Excuse me, go to Navy. It was calling you junkie. Yeah. And all that. And you used the phrase. I don't even know if you remember it.
Oh yeah, I do.
Well, yeah. Pull that out real quick.
No.
I want to say that one time so I can
You make
title
people
this.
go from pistols to pom poms.
Pistols to Pom Poms.
Folks gonna try to shoot you down, you know what I'm saying? But after a while, once they watch you work and once they see what God doing for you, they ain't got no choice but to cheer for you, bro.
Yeah.
No choice. Or be quiet.
Yeah.
Cause it ain't, I'm not out here trying to flex on you.
Right.
This is God doing what he does.
Yeah.
And he could do it for you too. That's the whole thing. Like I didn't turn my life around to flex on you. Right. I turned my life around because I needed to. Yeah. And now that I have, I can tell you can too.
Yeah.
And not from me hearing about it.
Right.
I lived it and you watched it.
And you watched.
So that's why you picked up them pom poms.
You saw it happen.
You put the gun down and you picked up the pom.
You picked up the pom pom. And this is my story.
Yeah.
But it ain't my story.
It's not.
Right?
It's his.
That's
what history.
This is his canvas. Yeah, history,
his
right?
story.
This is his canvas. Yep. This is his song. He's writing the lyrics.
Absolutely.
He's directing the brush.
Absolutely.
He got the paint. And it's just like if I let my story be in the hand of the storyteller, if I let my artwork be in the hand of the artist, if I let my painting be in the hand of the painter, if I let my music be in the hand of the true musician,
sir.
my design in the hand of the designer,
Yes.
man, what could he create with me?
Bruh, that's an ethereal flex, sir. That's a heavenly flex, sir. Okay?
Ethereal flex.
That is out of this world.
I was going to name this Pistol the Pom Poms. Now I'm going to name it Ethereal Flex.
Yeah.
Hey, man, thank you so much for watching this episode. Do me a favor. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go to the show notes, do all the things, and let us know what you're feeling, because we'd love to hear from you. Appreciate you.